One mic.
I'm back. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live.
There ain't no goddamn tape.
Interactive and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America. And it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is going to get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky. He's real loudmouth. He's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is the One Mic with Big Mike show coming at you live and direct via Spreaker.com. That's spelled Spreaker.com. Also, Spreaker has an app, so you can make sure you download that for all of your mobile devices. You can also catch the show live on TuneIn and, of course, my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. If you want to check out any past episodes, or if you can't stick around for this entire episode, you can also catch the show on demand on any one of those platforms, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and follow me on iTunes and iHeart and all those good things. If you want to be involved in the show, it's quite simple. You can either text me at 404-902-8104, or you can jump inside my live interactive chat room right here on Spreaker. Just go to Spreaker.com, or like I said, go get that Spreaker app from your app store. Sign up for your free Spreaker account, and then follow the One Mic with Big Mike show. When you start listening, you'll see a little thought bubble icon on the streaming player. Just click on that. It'll get you right up inside this live interactive chat room where you can talk to me. You can talk to other people in the chat room. You can get your thoughts out. Tell me how much of an idiot I am. All those good things. You can do those same things via my text line at 404-902-8104. That's 404-902-8104. I thought I was going to have my live stream jumping off today, but I'm looking at my screen right now and it's telling me that the service is temporarily unavailable. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that situation. I tried to fix it last night. I thought I did, but I didn't, obviously. So we'll rock on again. Second day back. We'll rock on without it. We'll try to do better next time, I guess. All right. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. All right, so yeah, today got a little football going on tonight. I didn't really realize it, so I'm not sure how long I'm gonna stick around doing the show tonight, because I know football season, first real game. That Hall of Fame situation don't really count. It's the first real evening of football, preseason football. We got the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans going on in about 30 minutes or so if you're listening live. About 27 minutes, I guess, if you're listening live here on NFL Network. So we'll get in and out today. Not a lot of sports news going on today, so not a whole lot for me to talk about. I'll get you guys updated on some things and give my thoughts on some other things that transpired within the world of sports. Also, at the bottom of the hour, coming off the bottom of the hour break, I'll take a look back in the history of sports for my I used to say everyday feature, but I don't do the show every day. But, you get what I'm saying. My everyday feature on this day where I take a look back, give you guys some little factoids, some historical things that you may or may not quite know. All right, so let's start. First of all, glad everybody's here. I'm glad I'm here because the end of the world is upon us. Apparently, folks is out here threatening each other with nuclear weapons and whatnot. So that's the thing. So, yeah, happy 2017, and doesn't look like we're going to really make 2018. But anyway, Colin Kaepernick, let me give you guys the update on that real quick. Colin Kaepernick still didn't have a job. I know that's not really much of an update. But the other thing that came out, I don't know if I mentioned this on Monday, but I think I saw it on Monday. There's going to be a protest. There's going to be a demonstration, I guess, if you want to call it that way, outside the NFL headquarters on the 23rd. And I forget who's leading it, but Spike Lee has attached himself to it. They're going to get out there at 5 o'clock, right when work is letting out, or maybe the NFL people be gone by then, because like some people get out of work at 3 or 4:30, so maybe they just going to be out there by themselves walking around for no reason. I don't really get the purpose of it. I don't know what is the what's the word I'm looking for. I don't get what they're expecting to come from it. Like they're going to march and protest and have signs up and justice for Kaepernick, and some white NFL owner is going to say, you know what? I think we'll sign him now. I don't know that that's necessarily going to be the case. And I saw an article today. I didn't even read it, but I saw what the headline was, and it kind of brought up some thoughts in my head. Like, you know what? It may have an adverse effect. It may be one of those things that, you think you're doing good. You know what I mean? But, just like people kind of came down on his old lady, Nessa, for calling the Ravens owner a slave master, which I don't have no problem with that. You know what I mean? Like, call stuff what it is, man. And it's not like that whole thing about tell your lady to shut her mouth. It's not like they was gonna sign him other way. You know what I mean? Like, that was the one thing that kept them from signing him. Nah, that ship had already sailed, and I think she knew it. He knows it as well. But in this situation, I think marching outside of the NFL headquarters, it gives these owners and it gives a lot of these fans and these stick to football people, it gives them ammunition for their see, told you so. That's why we don't want this thing. We don't want him in here. The distraction. Look at all this stuff. The same thing, like, they wanted to have that argument about, or have that argument with Mike Vick and the dogs and all that. People were going to be protesting. That's why teams didn't want him. And then eventually he signed because, Tony Dungy's on the good side of the NFL, and Tony Dungy told people it was going to be all right, and people trusted Tony Dungy, and it was going to be all right, and it was all right. Colin Kaepernick doesn't have such affiliations. He didn't have a Tony Dungy affiliation. So with that being said, he's kind of on his own. He's left to them taking his word as far as, there ain't going to be no problems. I'm done with the protesting. I'm done with the kneeling. All that kind of stuff. I'm just going to do my philanthropy and do my good works outside of football and so forth and so on. Doesn't seem really much like they believe him. Or, like I said on Monday, it's just punitive at this point. It's just a matter of punishing the dude and then saying, you know what? So what? We don't care about what you're going to do. What you've already done, in the opinion of these white owners, is already egregious enough. And a message has to be sent to everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna stick by what I said, what I've been saying. I don't think the dude is gonna play again, and I think that it's a shame. I think the people who run the league should be embarrassed. I don't know necessarily that they will be, because the NFL. Here's my thought, my constant thought when it comes to the NFL is that it's the one league that has that replenishes its workforce so fervently, or so on such a large scale. We're talking 8 rounds, man, 32 teams around in the draft. I mean, then you got supplemental draft, you got rookie free agents, you got guys who didn't make teams last year who trying to come back and make teams this year. There's always somebody vying for a spot when it comes to NFL football. So these guys are very, very, very disposable. They're very interchangeable. It's not like, like you got a couple of dudes, right? The Bradys, the Rodgerses. You got a couple of dudes that are pretty much indispensable. But for the most part, you're talking about 1,500 dudes. Probably 90-something% of those dudes at any given time can be replaced by another dude very quickly. That's why I don't shed no tears when dudes leave. Like, people's like, man, Calvin Johnson, man, it's a shame. His career ended too soon. So what? I still got Julio Jones and Antonio Brown. And when they leave, I have other dudes and other guys will come into the league. It doesn't matter. It's not like when you lose Michael. Remember the NBA lost Michael Jordan, and it was like, damn. We had to wait for Kobe and KG to grow up. We still had Allen Iverson, but it was like he was the one. You know what I mean? You had to wait for these guys to grow up, and it was this gap between Michael Jordan and the next crop of great players, man. When LeBron leaves, I think we'll see a certain void be there as well. I know a lot of people who don't like LeBron won't want to feel that way, but yeah, LeBron is a guy who, once he's gone, people are going to realize that you're not going to see that type of human being play basketball in your generation or the next generation or after that and after that. He is the definition of generational talent. But in football, yeah, whatever. We'll probably see a little bit of what I'm talking about when it comes to the quarterback position. Once guys like Aaron Rodgers are out of the league, he's probably the youngest of the guys that I'm referring to, right? Guys like him and Matt Ryan and guys like that. Like, once they leave, you're stuck with a bunch of dudes that are coming out of these college programs that one, aren't being prepared for, obviously, NFL football, but then when they get to the league, because of the way the collective bargaining agreement is, they can't prepare once they can't do as much preparing to be NFL quarterbacks as one might like them to once they get there. So anyway, a couple other things came out of the Colin Kaepernick thing between last time I talked to you guys on Monday and now. Apparently, Skip Bayless is promoting. I don't watch any of those shows. I don't watch anything that he appears on. But I read while doing my reading today, I read that he suggested that the black players should sit out and really send a message. And I'm like, hold on, dude, why you just singling out the black ones? You know what I mean? Like, some of these white boys, Luke Kuechly and these cats, they can sit down too, because they the ones always they when you put a microphone on their face, they're hollering out, this is a brotherhood. These are my brothers. This is my family in here. All right, let's be kin now then. It shouldn't just be on, like, when it comes to stuff like injustices, this is not a black issue. Police killing black kids in the street, that's not a black issue. It just so happens that most of the police that's doing it are white, and most of the kids that are dying and the people that are dying are black. But it's not a black issue. This is a human being issue. It shouldn't happen. Like, people talk about America, the land of the free, and then the law of the land and all this kind of stuff. The law of the land usually says when you kill somebody in cold blood, you go to jail. You get punished for it. Not go on vacation. Not get suspended, get put on desk duty. That's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to blow somebody away and then they be like, you know what? Go ahead. We're going to put him on desk duty. We don't wait for the investigation to come out. No, they're going to put my black ass in jail. Immediately. No bond. Then we got another one. The kid that played Bodie in The Wire, the kid that, light-skinned kid with the do-rag spitting through his gap. Apparently his take on the situation is that Colin Kaepernick, he ruined it. He's ruining it for black quarterbacks. And it was one of the most stupid and ignorant statements that I've ever heard made in regard to this situation. I'm looking for it right now. Oh, here it is. Because he talks about how black quarterbacks just came into prominence 7 years ago. I was like, 7 years ago? In 2010? In 2010 is when black people showed and black quarterbacks showed up. Here it is. He says, quote, his name is J.D. Williams, by the way, not Bodie. His real name is J.D. Williams. I appreciate Kaepernick's sentiment and attempt at a statement, but he didn't have to sacrifice his career in that way. Nice try. Well, it's one of those things that, yeah, there was a risk of him sacrificing his career, but there's really no reason for him to expect that, me being an American, exercising an American right is going to cost me my ability to make a living doing the thing that I've been doing for the last couple of years. There's no reason for him to think that that's actually a thing. Of course, it's a risk, but the fact that it's happening, that's not on him. And this is what I'm kind of tired of. It's like the people who are putting the blame on him rather than the system that's persecuting him, again, for being an American, exercising an American right. There's no crime there. There's no evil doing there. But again, I talk about like Stockholm syndrome. If you would just did what Master said do, he wouldn't have had to beat you. Well, there is this thing about him owning you in the first place. You know what I mean? And having the ability to beat you, which we need to address probably as well. But, that mentality doesn't see that side of the argument or that side of the equation. He goes on to say in the quote, we do remember, in all caps, black quarterbacks in the NFL weren't even a thing, another all caps, really until about 7 years ago. Cap effed up their money with his big ass fro. Yeah. See, I don't know. At some point, like, everybody don't have to say stuff. Like, I'm not trying to knock down anybody's right to speak, but what the old folks used to say, like, better to be presumed an idiot than open your mouth and remove all doubt. That's ridiculous. Like, first of all, whose money is getting messed up? Like, he's making money for a lot of these bum ass white boys. These white boys is getting money off this dude. Jay Cutler's got $10 million because we can't sign Kaepernick. An Arena Football League dude got money. Christian Ponder was about to get money just because ain't nobody want to mess with Kaepernick and his quote-unquote big-ass fro. Then there was a rumor yesterday I saw on social media. I kind of just scrolled by it, that he turned down a job. He turned down a contract offer in order to continue the outrage on his behalf, which quickly got shut down. It was stupid. It's like these things. I don't know how people or where these things derive from, but it's just ridiculous. At some point, like, everybody got to just settle down. First of all, these people going to go out here and protest. We got people talking about they're not going to watch football because Kaepernick don't have a job. None of those things are true. Eventually, you will be back watching football because you're going to want to be a part of the conversations that people are having around you about your favorite team and the things that people are saying to you against your favorite team and all these kind of things. You're going to want to be involved in those things. And to be involved in those things, you're going to need to watch. You're going to be in a fantasy football league. Speaking of, the One Mic with Big Mike Fantasy Football League is on and popping. So make sure you guys send me your emails to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. You can also go to the onemicwithbigmike.com website. Go to the contact page. You can send your email directly from there. I'll reply with a link. I guess a link to the invitation or a link to sign up for the football league. I think I got 7 more slots left, and we're going to draft. I always do my draft the Sunday after the final preseason game so that all the rosters are set. Everybody who's hurt is hurt, and we can get right into it. Got one more week until the regular season, and we'll get it popping that Sunday. I think it's at 4. It's at either 3 or 4 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys, once again, send me your emails to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Put fantasy football in the subject line, or do the same thing. Go to the website, onemicwithbigmike.com. Go to the contact page, and you can send it straight from there. All right, I mentioned we got a couple minutes here till the I call it the official beginning of the NFL preseason. Let me give you guys a little bit of a rundown as to what's going down tonight and tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday, so I can talk about what's happening. Well, actually, I won't be able to talk about what's going on Friday because the Friday game starts when I start on Friday. So tonight, of course, we got the Texans and the Panthers at 7:30 on NFL Network. Then you got the Falcons and the Dolphins at 7 p.m. The Falcons are going to be at the Dolphins. The new dome ain't ready yet, I don't think. So the Falcons are going to be playing down there at South Beach. We won't get a chance to see young Jay Cutler because he just signed. That'll be next week. We also won't get a chance to see Julio Jones in this game as well because they're going to sit him out. No need for him to risk anything. Devontae Freeman, we'll see him and his new money. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Then on Friday, I'm sorry, the Falcons game is on Thursday. Did I mention that? Yes. On Friday, we got the Steelers and the Giants. Odell Beckham, of course, Elijah, Ben, no Le'Veon Bell. He's still holding out because now, of course, now that Devontae Freeman got that money, $8 million, Le'Veon want double digits. But I'm going to give y'all my take here in just a second about this whole running back thing and paying running backs money. I'm never with it, you know what I mean? Especially in the situation with the Falcons where you got 2 of them. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't really break him off before I get into all that craziness. They didn't really break Devontae off, but he got a nice chunk of change, $41 million over 8 years. I got to see the details, of course. Like I mentioned on Monday, these NFL contracts are fugazi. I think the bonus money is somewhere around 12 or 14 million, something like that. So it ends up turning into something like a 6-year deal because, of course, this year plus the 5-year extension turns it into a 6-year deal, which ends up being more of like a 3-year deal in the context of the NFL. But like I say, we'll see more when we go to Spotrac and get the breakdown and how the deal breaks down, how the guaranteed money and all those things break down in particular. So yeah, $41 million for running back. $8 million. It averages out to be about $8 million a year, making him the highest paid running back in the league. And the reason I say they didn't really break him off because I was listening to, I guess, Louis Riddick today, and he was talking about how the running back market is kind of flat. Like years ago, Arian Foster and those dudes was getting $8 million. You know what I mean? And now the highest paid running back in the league is still at $8 million. Like everybody else money, wide receivers, quarterback money is jumping out the window. Offensive guard money is jumping out the window. Running back money, staying settled, and it should. You know what I mean? You know, I felt like the Falcons were in a position where they could have strangled Devontae Freeman. They could have strangled him with Tevin Coleman. You know what I mean? The fact that Tevin Coleman is Dan Quinn's guy. He drafted Tevin Coleman. Devontae Freeman is a holdover from the last regime. The other part about it is, the opposite side of that is Devontae Freeman. No one has more all-purpose yards than Devontae Freeman in the last 2 years. That being said, how do you handle this now? Do you still run this as a platoon system when you got the highest paid running back in the league? Like, I feel like you got to get everything out of him. I think now you got to do that literally. Well, she should have a backup. Like, Tevin Coleman should be a backup right now and also be expendable. When it's time for his deal to come up, which would be next year. These dudes are 1 year apart. These dudes got drafted 1 year apart. So Tevin Coleman's deal will be due to be signed next year. He'll be looking for an extension next year. He might have to kick rocks because his production should dip this year. All things being equal, he stays healthy. Devontae Freeman stays healthy. His production should dip because now you're paying a number one running back. Ain't no you get 2 series, he get 2 series, he get 2 series. No. I gotta run your ass into the ground now. I gotta get every dollar out of you that I can. And then when you tap your helmet, all right, then Tevin Coleman can come in there at his whatever his I didn't even check his salary, whatever his $1 million or less salary is, because I know Freeman was supposed to make $1 million this year or something like that. $1 million something this year was his salary this year. $1.8 million, I think it was. So yeah, at this point, it kind of changes the dynamic of that whole running back by tandem or committee situation. We'll see. I'm not. I like what the Steelers are doing with Le'Veon Bell. You know what I mean? A dude who is not going to give you 16 games in the case of Le'Veon Bell, but he is an immense talent. Lock his ass up with that franchise tag. Go ahead and come up off that $12 million. Then next year, when it's time to franchise him again, hit him with it again. Then when you're done with that, maybe by that time, this kid out of Pitt, the kid who beat cancer, maybe this kid is ready to rock and roll, because we've seen that team play well. We've seen running backs like D'Angelo Williams play well with Le'Veon Bell out on suspension or injury or what have you. So if I'm the Steelers, I'm looking at that like, yeah, he is a top, I don't know, 5, let's say, running back in the league. Maybe the number 1 running back in the league. You know, the kid in Arizona probably has an argument as well. And then Devontae Freeman as well. They both have arguments and can claim stake to that title. But if you're talking about 3, 4, 5 running backs, yeah. But I don't have to. I don't have to invest in you. They can pay him. They can pay him because that's what the NFL is about. You pay him, but you don't have to invest in him long term because he's a running back and they're dime a dozen. And there's really not much that separates. If we're talking about Le'Veon Bell, the number 1, 2, or 3 running back in the league, there's really not much that separates him from a guy like, let's say, Jay Ajayi, or separates him from a guy like let's think who is another guy who can play some pretty good damn running back. I don't know because there's not so many young dudes. DeMarco Murray, you know what I'm saying? DeMarco Murray's good running back on the backside of his career. Guys like Shady McCoy. It's like these dudes, you give me one, you give me the other one. Whatever. I mean, there's not really much of a difference when it comes to the running back position in the NFL, because the rules tell you and tell everyone in the NFL, throw the ball, throw it. I forgot to mention Ezekiel Elliott when I was talking about the top 3, 4, 5 running backs in the league. So then there's Ezekiel Elliott, right? So you got some guys who stand out. But then you ask yourself the question, what difference does a running back make to a championship team? Ask yourself that question. Adrian Peterson was the best running back for a decade. It never sniffed a championship. Because while he's kind of like in a way, he's kind of like the Dwight Howard of football. Not in skill set, but in the way his position, it morphed while he was playing the game. Like, you remember, like Dwight Howard, he came in at the end of that big man era where Shaq was still in the league, a couple guys were still in the league, these big men were still in the league. And as he started to mature and get older, the league was changing around him. It started changing to a wing player, a ball handler, a shooter's league, and he had no place. Same thing happened to Adrian Peterson. It was like, yeah, just put the ball in Adrian Peterson's stomach over and over and over again and win 8 games. You're not going nowhere with Adrian Peterson running the football for 2,000 yards. It's not happening. You got to throw the football. And the more and more teams start to realize that, that's why we're seeing right now. That's why we're seeing right now the money just kind of level off. You know what I mean? Like this kid Devontae Freeman is getting the same money that somebody was getting, 5, 6, 7 years ago, $8 million a year. That doesn't make any sense. The salary cap goes up every year. How is your money still the same? The top paid running back, and he's the top paid. It's not even the average. He's at the top of the heap, averaging $8 million a year, which is the same amount that dudes was getting 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. It tells you everything you need to know about that, because every year in the league, every year in the draft, you go get you a Leonard Fournette. Go get you a damn Christian McCaffrey, who we'll get to see tonight. I'm excited about seeing this kid play tonight as well, man. He won't have Cam Newton. Cam Newton's coming off the shoulder surgery or whatever, so he won't be playing tonight. But we do get to see the kid out of Stanford. We also get to see Deshaun Watson, who his head coach has been, speaking glowingly about. So we get to see what did I say? I said Deshaun Watson, right? It feels like I said something else. I feel like I said another name, but I think I said Deshaun Watson. We get to see Deshaun Watson as well. Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt, the white god. White people love J.J. Watt, man. So he'll be back tonight as well, coming off that, he had that back situation last year. He tried to play Superman to come back super early from it, and that back was like, Shout out to my homie Big L. He's in my chat room right now. If you guys want to join him, it's quite simple. Just go on over to Spreaker.com if you're listening via your computer, laptop, PC, or whatnot. Or download that Spreaker app for your mobile device, and then head on over to Spreaker, sign up for your free Spreaker account while you're there, and then follow my show, One Mic with BigMike.com. Once you start listening, you'll see a little thought bubble icon on the streaming player. Just click on it. It'll get you right up inside the live interactive chat room. You can also text me at 404-902-8104 if you like anything you hear, or if you hate anything you hear. That's even better if you hate it, because I know a lot of people love to holler out, good for free, good for him, man. You know what I mean? All right, yeah, I'm all about these NFL dudes getting their money. Get it. Because the contracts are boo-boo. They cut you after a couple years and don't want to pay you your money. If you decide to leave or retire, just like this kid in Jacksonville, Brandon Albert, he was like, man, I can't do it no more. I'm going to go ahead and retire. They was like, all right, we're going to come for about $3 or $4 million for that signing bonus. He was like, oh, well, since you're saying that way, I want to come back. Now they saying, we good. the Jaguars like, you know what? We might be good on that whole you coming back thing, bruh. And now they're gonna do what NFL teams do. They gonna jerk this dude around now, because they got always have the leverage. Monetarily, contractually, the team always has the leverage. Big L saying, will JJ be the same player? I don't know. Like Big L, you listen to the show long enough. I don't make predictions. The Texans sure hope so, but if not, they can just DeMario Williams him. You remember what they did with DeMario Williams? DeMario Williams was their number 1 overall pick. Then Wade Phillips came in and decided this 300-pound human being was going to play outside linebacker. He did well. Got injured a little bit because now you're playing a little bit higher than you would be if you were playing defensive end. So he got injured a little bit, but he still, I think, in Wade Phillips' first year, he had double-digit sacks. I think the next year he was hurt. And then they shipped his ass out. They didn't re-sign him because they had J.J. Watt. So maybe if Jadeveon Clowney continues the upward track that he was on last year, you figure out, because J.J. Watt re-upped a couple of years ago for like a little money. Comparatively to what he is and how much he's, supposedly worth to the team. He re-upped. He could have held serve and just waited till the contract was, or till he got 1 year out to re-up, but he re-upped early, man. And they got a steal out of him. So yeah, if all else fails and that back don't come back together, and Jadeveon Clowney continues on the uptick, why not get rid of J.J. Watt? Let his ass wear another jersey. That's the way of the NFL. Ain't no damn loyalty. NFL, not for long. I mean, you figure out you can't play no more. Yeah. Ain't none of that stuff happening. We ain't that much in love with JJ. If you the Texans, I mean. All right, so let's take a break. I got a couple more NFL things I just want to hit on quickly before Or after I do on this day, I'll do that after the break here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm heard live on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com, the app. Tune in, as well as OneMicWithBigMike.com. You can also get the show on demand on any of those platforms, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And make sure you're following me on social media at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. I'll be back in a minute and a half.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at OneMicWithBigMike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. I go to school with your children. We say the Pledge of Allegiance together. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. This problem is closer than you think. My teacher tells me we can grow up to be whatever we want. I want to grow up to be someone who doesn't go to bed hungry. There's enough food in this country to feed everybody. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the One Mic with Big Mike show. On a Wednesday, on a rainy Wednesday here in ATL. It's been raining all damn week, man. Like real rain, too. The heavy stuff, which means the grass won't grow. I got to get out there and cut that again. Anyway, if you guys want to be a part of the show, want to get your comments heard, questions answered, jump inside my live interactive chat room, go over to Spreaker.com or go to my website, OneMicWithBigMike.com. You got to search for One Mic with Big Mike. If you go to Spreaker, then on the streaming player, once you start listening, just click on that little thought bubble icon. That'll get you up in here. You can also text me at 404-902-8104. Hey, Big L, you got $1 million on you? If you got $1 million on you, anybody got $1 million on you, I can tell you how you can get into this exclusive. It's called an exclusive. Well, it's labeled as an exclusive sex club. It's called Sanctum. Hold on, it's the world's most exclusive sex party. It's a sex party that's held each month in Los Angeles and New York City, and it has satellite parties during events like the Cannes Film Festival. Typically, men have to shell out $1,850 per party, or they can drop the annual fee of $75,000 for admission to every party of the year. This option's only limited to 11 men. Ladies, of course, you gotta let the ladies in free, but they have to send a full body picture, so no babbies, none of those chicks none of those chicks that are accusing Usher of hitting them with the herp. Which, by the way, Usher said he ain't got the herp. So all these claims by these men and these women saying that Usher exposed them to the herp, he's saying that they full of crap. And he's also saying this broad that I'm talking about, he said that she's not his type. Good for him. Because that made it unbelievable. Once I saw her, and I call it body shaming, call it sexist, call it whatever you want to. But once I saw her and understanding who the level of broads that I would be banging if I was Usher, she wouldn't be amongst the top million. Anyway, the founder of this club, his name is Damon Lawner. He decided to release 3 lifetime memberships. The first 2 sold for $350,000 and $425,000. So that leaves him with 1 more. So he upped the price on that third one to a cool $1 million. So you say, damn, Mike, what do I get for $1 million? What do I get in this sex club for $1 million? I'm glad you asked. The plan gives you access to all the parties, as well as 24/7 erotic concierge, who can teach you everything you need to know about sex, including foursomes, BDSM, and juggling multiple lovers. A quote initiation ceremony will be held at the club's New York Fashion Week masquerade on September 9th. It also gets you bragging rights, I guess, and you get to be me at the events for life. This is what my man is saying, the owner is saying. Tables, events, special event tickets for yacht parties in Cannes, or upcoming events in Rome and Moscow. Private classes in erotic arts are all included. That's what you get for $1 million. So if anybody listening to this show hit that Powerball, or is about to hit that Powerball, or hits that Powerball, or hit the Mega Millions yesterday, I think it's up like $300 million. You can drop $1 million and get yourself into this exclusive sanctum sex party. Yeah, let's take a look back.
Now, let's take a look back.
On this day.
All right. Now that we got that out the way. Oh, if I had $1 million, would I do that? Because it's one of those things that, not if I had $1 million, I wouldn't spend my whole $1 million. But if I had like $300 million, would I just be like, my curiosity just get the best of me and be like, I probably wouldn't spend $1 million on the lifetime one, but maybe go to one of them and just, check it out, see what's going on. It'll be a little voyeuristic or whatnot, you know what I mean? Anyway, on this day in 1925, it was the only time Babe Ruth is pinch hit for in baseball. The guy's name is Bobby Veach, and he flied out. Epic fail. On this day in 1936, the great Jesse Owens, he wins his 4th gold medal of the Berlin Olympics in front of Adolf Hitler. On this day in 1946, the first time all Major League Baseball games, all 8 of them at the time, are played at night. On this day in 1975, the first NFL game in the Louisiana Superdome took place. The Houston Oilers, for my people who are, I don't know, what you got to be like above, you got to be over 30 to know what the Houston Oilers are. They beat the New Orleans Saints 13-7. And on this day, finally, in 1988, the Edmonton Oilers, they trade the great one, Wayne Gretzky, to the Los Angeles Kings for 15 to $20 million. Damn, they didn't trade him, they bought him. They put him on the slave block. Well, I don't know. $15 to $20 million. They bought him for $15 to $20 million. That's real? Shout out to hockey, man. As you can tell, I didn't read these. I didn't pre-read these before I just now read them. That's why I'm so damn surprised about it. All right, that is your Wednesday edition of On This Day, your hump day. Oh, God, you know what? Damn it.
Hump day.
I forgot all about it. I forgot I even had that. See, it's been so long since I've been here. Been in the saddle. Just forgot about my hump day situation. Also, I didn't forget about Women Crush Wednesday. I just didn't feel like doing it today. I'll try to bring it back next week, but sometimes just the creepy meter, the creepy factor of just trying to look through pictures or scroll through people's Instagram to find these brides. It's just like, I do it for the people. You know what I mean? I do it for y'all. So I'll try to come back with that situation next week. All right, so the NFL. I got a couple more things in the NFL to talk about real quick, just to get you guys up to speed on certain things. They're going to bring in 21 to 24 full-time referees next year. Finally, the NFL is getting full-time referees with all this damn money that they making. They're going to finally drop some loot on full-time reps, which is going to increase the scrutiny. You MFers are going to be, UMFers are going to be even more a-holes to these dudes when they miss a call or when the call's close and they don't get it right because now they full-time, which, it's a good thing because I don't know how many of you guys know, man, that these dudes got real-ass jobs. Like, these dudes are like lawyers and so forth and so on, like real professional jobs. And if you ever see the test that they have to take every week, and additionally the test that they have to take to become a referee, it's like it ain't for the weak at heart, man. Like, you MFers think you know the rules and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I think you can Google this too because it was on where did I see it on Real Sports? And they was talking about the how thick the rule book is and how these dudes have to know like with precision these rules more so than you would imagine. So it's a good look for them. That they getting a piece of that pie, they getting their money. Like, I'm all for people, you guys heard me before. I'm all for people getting their money. So good for those guys. there was one other thing. Oh, speaking of money, apparently, you guys, this is the second show in a row. Johnny Manziel's made the show. Look at fat Kelvin Benjamin, 900 pounds of wide receiver. Doing work though. Jesus Christ, the sun and cats. Johnny Manziel wants to be a coach after his NFL career is over. Somebody get on the phone right now. Call your man, Jonathan Manziel, and let him know that the jury's out on that career situation. It's over. It's done. You can move on to your future endeavors now. The NFL career for Johnny Manziel is donezo and over. And like, there are certain people. Well, I don't know now. I don't even know now, because like once you hear the Tebow name out ahead of the Colin Kaepernick, or out ahead in English of Colin Kaepernick's, it's like anybody's viable. Like right now, while I'm doing this show, I might get a call from like the Vikings talking about they need me to come play quarterback just so they don't have to call Colin Kaepernick. You know what I mean? Like at this point, everybody's on the table. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know if I should shut the door on old Johnny Football's career just yet. I mean, with all the Christian Ponder getting calls and his name getting floated, and Tim Tebow, all bets are off, man. So I take that back. I want to apologize to Jonathan Football or Jonathan Manziel right now. All right, so moving on. In the land of the NCAA, I thought this was awesome. You guys know how much I hate the NCAA hoes and the hypocrisy that lies within that whole situation. This is going to be hard because football is on. I'm trying to do this damn show. That's why I told you it's going to be 2 hours tonight. Probably not. Probably not going to be a thing, man, tonight, because it's some football being played. Like, dudes is out here bringing a little bit of wood, man. But in the world of the NCAA, this kid named Josh Rosen, I don't know how many of you guys know him. He got hurt last year, the UCLA quarterback. He came on the scene 2 years ago as a redshirt freshman. Or, no, as a true freshman a couple years ago. And did some real good things for Jim Moore out there on the West Coast. And got banged up a little bit last year. But just yesterday, I think he had some pretty insightful comments. Not even insightful, just bold comments that you're not used to hearing out of players within the NCAA. And this the type of thing that attaches itself to where we are in society now, that everyone has a voice, everyone has a way to have their voice being heard. It's hard to muzzle people. And that, coupled with the fact that these kids are getting a lot more educated on the economics and their economic impact on big time college sports. So before I go too deep into that situation, let me find what my man said. And people kind of attach themselves to one part of his comments, which aren't really as bad as they, like, if you take them out of if you take one part of the comments out of the entire comment, it sounds worse than it is. But he's making a good point. He says, quote, "Look, football and school don't go together." So right then, got my attention. The quote continues, "They just don't. Trying to do both is like trying to do 2 full-time jobs. There are guys who have no business being in school, but they're here because this is the path to the NFL. There's no other way." Then there's the other side that says, raise the SAT eligibility requirements. Okay. Raise the SAT requirement at Alabama and see what kind of team they have. You lose athletes and then, sorry. And then the product on the field suffers, end quote. Every last thing he has said so far is correct. And, like, you know, people, the hillbillies in Alabama, the bumpkins in Alabama, they want to take offense to it. And he wasn't just pointing out Alabama because, you know, it's Alabama. He's pointing out Alabama because they are the standard. But let's not get it twisted. Like, Alabama ain't pumping out Rhodes Scholars. They pumping out football players. A bunch of dudes, like he said, that if they had their druthers, they would just go play football and then find themselves in a year, 2, 3, in somebody's draft, going to the professional ranks and getting a paycheck. But, you know, because the NCAA has to hold up this facade and farce of amateurism and fair play and all this bullcrap they like to preach, these guys got to act like they're students. Nah, man. There's some dudes. I'm not gonna paint with that broad brush. Yeah, there's some dudes that realize eventually that the dream of the NFL is not for me. So I got to do my work. I got to find a way to make money outside of football after I get up out of here. And then those dudes take advantage, and they also fall behind. He also mentions that there are times where he can't take a certain class because it conflicts with football, which means football is your job. You know what I mean? It's just like if you work your full-time gig, but you got the opportunity to do some moonlighting, but the schedule at the part-time gig is going to conflict with your full-time gig. Guess what you can't do? You can't take the part-time gig. Yeah, football is these full-time gigs, man. And especially for a dude, it's especially important to hear it from this guy, because one, he got good grades. I forget what his major is. He's got one of those like real majors. You know what I mean? Not like Swahili. He's got a real ass major. And also he plays quarterback. He plays big time quarterback for an former NFL coach, which lets you know that he's not BSing about the level and the amount of time that he needs to put in to be able to beat Washington or to beat Oregon or beat USC and all these teams, Oregon State and these teams in the Pac-12, Utah. This is not some NAIA school. You know what I mean? Where cats kind of know that, yeah, I gotta go to school right here. I gotta get this degree. No, they're playing against men who are trying to feed their families in the next 2-3 years. That's what's really happening. So that whole situation where, people want to come down this kid, and remember a couple years ago, Cardale Jones was the kid from Ohio State talking about, I ain't come here to go to school. I ain't come here to play school is what he said. But then, last year he went back to school because his situation is what it is, right? He got drafted after that season at Ohio State where it was kind of back and forth with him and JT Barrett and all that kind of stuff. And Braxton Miller had to play wide receiver. And then, his draft stock wasn't where he might have wanted it to be or thought it should have been. Ended up in Buffalo. This dude has already been traded. His ass is out in San Diego now. So he probably understands that this career that I've embarked upon, you know what I mean? It's fleeting already. He ain't gonna get no run with Phillip Rivers out there. Hell no. So you remember I talked to Rohan Davey. Like these guys, you get drafted and get stuck behind these all-time quarterbacks and never ever see the field, and it marks the end of your career. The first question I asked Rohan Davey was, would you have rather stayed behind Tom Brady and got those rings, or had your own team? He didn't even hesitate. I wanted to play. So because Cardale Jones went back to school and got his degree, I don't know what his degree was in. Shout out to my man I Am No Dose. He's up in the chat room. He's saying that homeboy's major was economics. I'm not sure what Cardale Jones's degree was. Well, whatever. He got one. You know what I mean? He's in the building. He got that paper. And I think the reality kind of sets in after the fact. After you say I'm not here, after all that hype dies down. Because you guys remember, man, that national championship hype was big. People were talking about he needed to leave now. After 3 games, my man needed to leave right now and go to the league. But he didn't. I don't know how it would have played out. I felt the same way I felt after he actually did leave, that he was going to get exposed. The draft process would have exposed him, and the hype and the emotion that people were feeling that this kid came out of nowhere and won this championship was going to die down, because the people who actually do the evaluation don't care about that. They care about how you going to help my football team. And from a skill set point of view, this big lumbering ass dude with this long wind up, that don't translate NFL wide. Yeah, his arm's strong as hell, but so is plenty of people's. Don't translate. And as the next year rolled on, and him and JT Barrett kind of went back and forth trying to figure out who's going to play quarterback or whatnot. And then he did go through the draft process. Everything that I said was going to happen, or I suspected would happen, played out. And he ended up going, I don't know what, 4th round maybe, to the Bills. They had no use for him with Tyrod out there. They shipped his ass in the offseason to the Chargers. Don't know how that's playing out, to the point where the Chargers worked out RG3 in the offseason. A couple weeks ago, they had RG3 in for a workout. So I don't know what that tells you. But anyway, I don't know how I start talking about Cardell Jones. No, that's what that's what I said. That's the white boy. Yeah, Rosen's major is economics. I said I don't know what Cardell Jones's was. He got his degree, but I don't know what his major was. Like athletic ball pumping up. I ain't gonna do that dude like that. That Ohio State situation anyway is so cultish. You know what I mean? Like, who really knows what the hell goes on there? They run like just like the rest of these places, Alabama and all these places. They run like these football cults with a U. And it is what it is. You know what else happened? Like while I was gone, the NCAA being the NCAA holes that they are, they ruled this dude, this kicker from UFC. I don't know if you guys heard about this. They ruled him ineligible because my man is like somewhat of a YouTube sensation. He got like crazy YouTube, what do they call it? Subscribers. By the way, subscribe to my YouTube page, man. I need to get my subscribers up. I got sunned the other day. Oh, I'll get back to this kid in a minute. Let me tell you guys how I got sunned the other day. So I mentioned on Monday that I was trying to get Cliff Robinson, former NBA player Cliff Robinson, on the show, right? I reached out to him. I told him, because he's doing work with cannabis and weed and the medicinal effects of marijuana. So I was like, yeah, man, I want to get this dude on the show. So I reached out to him. He was like, yeah, sounds good or whatever. Just hit my guy, hit up my guy and arrange it. So I hit the dude up, emailed the dude or whatever. Monday, while I was doing the show, I didn't even realize that he sent me a text during the show. So after the show, I texted him back like, yeah, man, I want to make this happen. Hopefully I can do it on Wednesday. So he says, can I call you? And I was like, all right, cool. One of my biggest pet peeves in life. Like, don't call me if all you're going to do is say something that you could text me. Just text me. So anyway, he calls me or whatever. And the conversation goes like this. He says, where is the show out of? Where is the show out of? I said, well, I'm in Atlanta, but the show is on the internet. So it's worldwide. He says, how many downloads do you get an episode? So I told him, I thought I was, hitting him with some numbers or whatever. My man says to me, we can't even rock with you. Like paraphrasingly, he said, we can't even rock with you unless you get 10,000 downloads an episode. And I was like, well, why are we talking then? Like, you could have just texted me that, cuz, you know what I mean? Like, why are we, I ain't say this, but I'm thinking this in my mind. Like, my man, you could have just texted me this. I ain't had to have no conversation with you for you to just sun me and was like, Cliff is too big. Cliff Robinson. And it ain't him. You know what I mean? I always make sure I mention that it ain't him, because these guys they keep these people around them who will big time you for them, even when they don't want to, because we're getting all these requests for Cliff. So if if it's not reaching at least 10,000 people, if we're not getting at least 10,000 downloads, we can't do it. So when you get to that level, give us a call back. I was like, my man, ain't that serious. I mean, like, yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I thought, I think what he's doing is cool. I wanted to know more about him being a black man in that space, because I don't know if you guys noticed that it's not really a lot of space for black people in that industry. Like, as many brothers as I know, and you guys probably know, that slinging weed to do it legally, oh boy, they shutting us out. You understand what I'm saying? They shutting us out financially. They shutting you out if you got any type of record. Any of those things keep you out of the industry, period, point blank. It is as white can be. And I wanted to know more about that. But, the white boy that he had called me and text me or whatever felt like, it wasn't my time. And like, look, dude, I'm good with that, cool. I'm always good with people being straight up with me, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to book President Obama. You know what I'm saying? It's Cliff Robinson. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no shade on Cliff, but you feel me? It's like I'm not calling Michael Jordan. Anyway. I said no shade, but it sounds like I'm shading this dude. I don't mean to be shading Cliff Robinson, man, because again, it ain't him. It's not him. And I'm sure I could find a workaround. You know what I mean? I'm sure I could find a workaround the same way I did with Craig Hodges and Kenny Anderson and Mahmoud and them cats. But, I could make it happen other ways. I got other people like Reuben Jones. He's into that same space. Well, he's not into it, but he's a marijuana proponent, and one of the guys who are in it that way is Jake Plummer. But like, I wanted to find out from the bruh, like, dude, like, what is it like for you in that space? And how did you get into that space? And how are you able to squeeze through, other than the fact that you're an NBA player and you got NBA money to be able to get in there? Like, what's the real, like, what are you doing to help other bruhs who want to be in the space? I wanted to get all that out, but we won't now. At this point, we won't. Until, you guys help me get to 10,000, then we can make that happen. 10,000 an episode. Let's go. I'm putting the pressure on you MFers. I'm good. But, you guys want to make that happen? Hell, make it happen. So anyway, this UFC kicker, before I go to break here, and this will be the last break, and then I'll shut it down in the next segment. This UFC, University of, what is it? UCF, University of Central Florida kicker. The NCAA stripped him of his eligibility because he's popping on YouTube. So he got a bunch of followers or whatever. And for what I gather, he just go out and do crazy stuff. He do like these trick kicks. He's like a trick kicker, if you want to call it that. Name is, Donald De La Haye. DE space LA space HAYE. Donald De La Haye. So yeah, they took his eligibility, and way he talks about it, man, it was they his folks down at UCF didn't even ride for him. The new coach down there is Scott Frost. That's my man Terrell Troop's alma mater. You know what I mean? They got Scott Frost down there. Here's how this kid describes the meeting with his head coach when he goes in there to figure out, like, how we gonna handle this, man? They can't do this to me, man. All I'm doing is getting a little cash off YouTube. It's just like me having a side gig or whatever. And they telling me I can't do that and play football, because the NCAA, they want to keep you in them shackles and them chains and shuffling along. You know what I'm saying? You can't get no money. What you mean? For nothing. So anyway, he says, quote, I walked into his office talking about Scott Frost, and I swear, no lie, 16 coaches are in there. Every single coach from the coaching staff was in there. And my chair was singled out in front of the coach's desk. He's like, yeah, do you understand how many problems you're causing this university right now? How many people's jobs you're putting in jeopardy? So basically, he sat me in the office and grilled me that whole time. So right off for real, I get no support from my head coaches. Well, I think he means my head coach. In this whole process that I'm going through, I feel like it's me against the NCAA and me against my coaches. That's foul business. Any way you want to cut it, man. That is foul business. So what the homie's doing? He's got a GoFundMe page if you guys want to rock with that. He's trying to get money up for his tuition now. $30,000 for his tuition. As of yet, he's up to $12,000 because he want to get his degree, and they done rip my man of his scholarship. So there's that. That's the way the NCAA rocks with you. You get a little bit of money just being goofy, man. He's just I haven't seen his YouTube channel, but it's like got 90,000 subscribers, man, and people apparently digging. And I saw him doing an interview on ESPN, and they was talking about, they was like tracking his followers and subscribers in real time. And like since the interview started, dude got like 500 more subscribers or 1,000 more followers and all this kind of stuff. And he said he's not making like hella loot off of it, but he's a guy who's standing on his principles, man. And I can't really fault him for that, man. He's saying that I'm not going to let you just run me like that because what you're doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you have the upper hand, just because you're in a position of authority, don't mean you can just do people the way you want to do them, man. And so, shout out to this kid. Again, if you guys want to donate, he got his name is Donald De La Haye. Got a GoFundMe situation set up if you guys want to jump on that. Also, while UMF is talking about boycotting the NFL in favor of Colin Kaepernick and all this kind of stuff, here's a question before I go to break. How many of you MFers have donated to his foundation? I have. The I Know My Rights. Go to the website. There's a link on there where you can just donate to the stuff. You can give $5, $10, $20 while y'all trying to stand on your on your screw the NFL. I'm not watching no more. How about you show some damn support if you haven't already? Like put your money where your mouth is. The money that you saving on that NFL ticket package that you're not gonna watch. Since y'all gonna cancel that, take that money and put it into some good hands, to the hands of somebody you know is gonna do some good for some people. and Colin Kaepernick. I'm sure he'd appreciate that a lot more than you MFers lining up outside the NFL offices marching at the close of business when everybody go home 5 o'clock. Boy, I'm glad they ain't rock like that in the 60s, boy, when they were trying to fight Jim Crow. Look, man, I'll holler at y'all when I get off work, B. The march start when? Come on, dude. Come on, man. I can't clock out and do that. No. These cats going to show up at 5 o'clock in front of the league offices. Everybody going to be going home. No one's going to care. God, Anyway. It's the One Mike with Big Mike show. I'm going to take this last break real quick, come back, clean up a couple things. Got some MLB news I want to talk about real quick. I don't know what else, but I'll figure it out.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mike with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mike with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemikewithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. I go to school with your children. We say the Pledge of Allegiance together. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. This problem is closer than you think. My teacher tells me we can grow up to be whatever we want. I want to grow up to be someone who doesn't go to bed hungry. There's enough food in this country to feed everybody. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
One Mike.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One Mike with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One Mike with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host,
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Man, yeah, we almost over this hump too. Here on the One Mike with Big Mike show, coming at you live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday via Spreaker.com, spelled Spreaker.com. Spreaker also has an app, so make sure you download that from your app store. You can also catch the show live on TuneIn and my website, onemikewithbigmike.com. If you're unable to stick around or unable to show up on time for the show, which starts at 7 o'clock, you can also catch the show on demand on all of those platforms, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Follow me on social media at One Mike with Big Mike. And to be involved in the show, ask questions, make comments, all those things, you can jump inside my live interactive chat room via Spreaker. If you're listening via Spreaker, you'll see a little thought bubble icon. Just click on that. It'll get you up inside the chat room, or you can text me at 404-902-8104. Did you guys watch Hard Knocks last night? I didn't. Like, the DVR is set from last year's episodes, and I was going to watch it today at some point, but I was like, I don't care. I feel like Jameis Winston is an entertaining dude, and he's a, captivating type of dude, and I think he's a funny ass cat, but like, I think those dudes at this point, it's like how if you're old enough to have seen the first Real World on MTV, like, that was the only one that was actually real, right? Because no one had a template before them on how I should act or what's going to get me more screen time or on all these things. People was just like, I heard a lot of those people was like, they just saw ads saying free rent with cameras, and they was like, whatever, free rent, let's do that. Let's get that popping. And then it turned into something else, and then it spawned off all this with the eventually when the writers went on strike, if you guys remember that, came this boom and this influx of reality TV. But none of it after that point, to me, has ever been really real. You know what I mean? And I feel that same way about Hard Knocks now. I think dudes, it really just jumped the shark last year, man. Todd Gurley and Tavon Austin, and what was that big dude's name who was talking about he didn't believe that dinosaurs exist? Like all that kind of crazy stupidness. That's people putting on. You know, and they putting on, and then you have a bad season because you're too stupid to realize. Just go to practice, man. Do your thing. So I didn't watch no Hard Knocks yesterday. I read a little bit about some of the stuff that happened yesterday, that it was all about James Winston and all about with Jerry McCoy, maybe, were the two main characters. And it's crazy. It's crazy to even call these dudes characters. they football players, but in actuality, they're kind of playing characters. So I may watch it, or when it comes back on replay, if I see it on HBO, I may check in for a second. But I don't really have a burning desire to involve myself in Hard Knocks this year. Couple of other things before I get out of here for the night. In the NBA, one of the things that you guys hate so badly is it keeps on rearing its head, the power that these players have over the league, the owners, the front office. They made all this stink last year about players taking rest, right? And Adam Silver talked big. Something's got to be done, as though it was going to be some sort of punitive type of situation with the team or whatever, the teams or whatever, because they was getting throttled with these cats sitting down during these primetime games. Now, if it was the NFL and this kind of stuff was happening, oh, without a doubt, they'd be fining people and suspending people and all this kind of stuff. Can't do that in the NBA. Nah. What you gonna do, you gonna stretch the season out a little bit is what's gonna happen. You understand me? And allow us to get the rest that we need if you're the players in the NBA. This is what you're saying. It's straight punking these dudes to get what you want, inevitably. Like, get the rest built in, and then, we'll think about it, because it still doesn't guarantee these cats ain't gonna be taking rest days, by the way. It still doesn't guarantee that LeBron's not gonna sit his ass down when he want to, or Popovich is not gonna sit his players down when he want to. It don't guarantee any of those things, but it's the NBA's proverbial olive branch. I want to give you guys the exactly what's going to be happening instead of me just running my mouth. Okay, so the NBA is going to they're going to eliminate back-to-back games that are before the national TV games. So before, like, the Sunday afternoon games, the teams who play in those games won't play back-to-backs. They won't play before the Saturday primetime game. Like, these dudes out here playing like it's the playoffs. God, I'm seeing dudes getting racked up on this football field tonight. My God. Anyway, they'll also remove instances of teams playing 4 games in 5 nights, and I think that's big. That's probably bigger than anything, even bigger than the back-to-backs. Playing those 4 games in 5 nights, you see the decline in performance in those games. And also, they'll eliminate playing 18 games in 30 days. And the way they're going to do that is the season's going to start a week early, so they can kind of space it out a little bit more. They may have to, eventually tweak it a little bit moving forward, but it's a start. Again, it's an olive branch, so that when dudes do decide to sit down and be like, damn, you sitting down. And then also what it'll do, it gets the fans more on the side of ownership or the league. It gets the fans more, because now the fans be like, damn, dude, you ain't playing no back-to-back now. Why you resting now? You ain't playing no 4 games in 5 nights. So now the fans, it's a way of, squadding up, getting your squad up if you're the league, to put more pressure on the players. And I don't think they care. They didn't care last year when dudes was like, I came all this way to see LeBron and brought my son on his birthday, and LeBron is in street clothes, or LeBron didn't even show up. And LeBron's like, I don't care. Yeah, you should have stayed your ass at home and turned your TV on. Or do that tomorrow when I am playing. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, we ain't gonna go kick it. Like, you ain't come out here to kick it with me. You came out to watch a basketball game. You can watch a basketball game on your TV, the way I do. There's also going to be a reduction in the number of back-to-backs from 14.9 per team down from, or to 14.9 per team, sorry, down from 16.3 per team last year. So about 2 games or 2 back-to-back less per team overall. Reduction of single game road trips to 17%, meaning that a team won't just leave Atlanta to go play New York and then come right back to Atlanta. If you're going to go for a couple of games and then come back. There'll also be a reduction in single game road trips over 2,000 miles by 67%. So when you do go, you won't go to New York. You'll go to like Charlotte and come back. You won't go as far as many times. There are only going to be 11 of those teams, like going from, I guess, Atlanta to Golden State. There's going to be like 11 of those trips, for example, going on. So the NBA is trying to do their thing. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to, say, oh, we got you, man. We got you fans. You know what I mean? You gonna spend your money to come see, Kawhi Leonard play basketball. Does anybody pay money to go see Kawhi Leonard play basketball? Or see the Golden State Warriors play basketball? We're going to make it more feasible and more easy for them to play in all 82 games if they're not injured, if possible. Again, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to all come out in the wash. NBA camp kicks off September or something. NBA camp is right around the corner. So when the season starts, we'll see. We'll see if any of these things make a difference. And if they don't, we'll see what the next evolution of Adam Silver's master plan, because he looked like that dude, right? Like Dr. Evil, the master plan guy. We'll see what the next evolution of his plan is to get these dudes to play in as many games as possible, so these douchebag fans who feel like these players owe them something can feel pacified and satisfied. Couple things real quick. What else do we have here? There's LeBron James, and you guys have heard me talk about LeBron James in this context. He does some real, I don't know, man, some stuff that I don't vibe with, as far as just being a man about things. He's like real caddish about things. Like we talked about Monday, Kyrie Irving wants out of Cleveland. He wants to go do his own thing somewhere. And that, to me, that should just be respected. His former GM said the other day that, I respect him doing it, especially the way he did. He manned up, went to the owner and was like, look, man, I need to be out of here, man. I need to go somewhere where I can do my thing. Of course, it leaked, and now it sparked some more, some contention between, or some alleged contention between him and LeBron. But then there comes this thing where these dudes are doing this subliminal stuff on social media. LeBron tweeted out, never let another ride your wave. And of course, people are like, who are you talking about? Kyrie, you know what I mean? And that notion is absurd. The notion that Kyrie rode LeBron's wave to a championship, as though, Christian McCaffrey getting the corner. Let's go. Let's get it popping, man. Yeah, I'm about to get out of here in a minute because I got to watch it. I want to see this white boy do his thing because, a lot of y'all slept on Christian McCaffrey. I'm not going to ever let y'all forget that ignorance and that stupidity that y'all was coming with when my man, he benched 7 times. Benched to 225 7 times at the combine, or maybe it was less than that. I'm not going to let that go, because I was telling y'all at the time, you're stupid if you believe that means that kid can't play football. I don't know that it means he can, but you're an idiot if you feel like that means he can't play football because he can't push weights off of his chest multiple times, 25 times. Yeah, this kid's a football player, so I'm excited about watching him play, so I'm not going to be here too much longer tonight. But the LeBron thing is just weird, man. It's like, come on, dude. The whole reason that this thing, that's even a thing. Well, part of the reason that's even a thing because of the possibility of you leaving. And Kyrie's already tasted that pie before. He's already tasted that LeBron is going pie, and you stuck in Cleveland to do it by yourself with a bench full of 90-year-olds and Kevin Love. You know what I mean? Nah, nobody want that. And Tristan Thompson. You know what I'm saying? $85 million Tristan Thompson / Kardashian. Kyrie don't want no. If I feel him on the fact that he's like, if it's gonna be bad, I'd rather it be bad with me in New York playing for the Knicks, or if I can still have a chance to still be good in a small market and a dreary town, let me take my ass to San Antonio and rock with Popovich. But to stay in Cleveland, knowing that LeBron might be headed to L.A. next year, to team up with Chris Paul or somewhere else, but not Cleveland, that uncertainty, I'm all about the Kyrie situation, man. Again, it's unfortunate that, that things had to leak. I sound like Donald Trump, don't I? Think the leaks. We gotta fix these leaks. Nah, it's unfortunate that had to happen, but the way people are blaming him, I talked about Ron Harper the other day and Charles Barkley. You know how much I hate mentioning Charles Barkley on my show. Kyrie is stupid. Like I would venture to say that Kyrie Irving is smarter than LeBron. Smarter than Charles Barkley. I would just go out on a limb and say that if we gave both of these dudes standardized tests, that Kyrie Irving would blow him out the water. Just saying. I don't even know how smart Kyrie Irving is. I just know how dumb Charles Barkley is. So I'm just willing to bet on the unknown in this situation. Yeah, Kyrie Irving, he's stupid for wanting to leave. Really? Like, you left a bunch of times, places that you played, and never won anything. At least he could say for himself, I got the thing that we all come into this business to get. I got it already. So now I'm a bounce. Holy smoke. Joe Webb he's playing quarterback. Joe Webb, shout out to Joe Webb. Joe Webb has carved himself out an NFL career doing whatever the hell he's been asked to do. Hey, Joe, you want to run down on punts? Sure. You want to play some wide receiver? Why not? Hey, quarterback, let's go. Like, Joe Webb don't give a damn. As long as I'm cashing these checks, it's all good, homie. Yeah, man. Good for him, dude. That's how you do it, man. Just carve out a nice little niche for yourself and just keep it moving until they tell you to stop coming to work. Do that, and this might be the year, but, whatever. Joe Webb, he's like one of them damn, what do you call them? What are those things you just can't get rid of? He just keeps coming back. That's Joe Webb, man. He'll be on somebody's team next week playing linebacker or something. Who the hell knows? Lastly here, before I get out of here, in the world of Major League Baseball, we're talking Major League Baseball today. You guys know I only talk about Major League Baseball when something stupid's happening, right? Like some dumb rule or some unwritten stupid thing, baseball-y type thing happens, and it happened. This umpire named Joe West got suspended for 3 games without pay. And that's not necessarily the dumb part. People get suspended, right? We rarely hear about officials, umpires and referees getting suspended, but in this case, Major League Baseball decided they were going to suspend this guy. Now, you're probably saying, okay, Mike, tell me why he got suspended. I will do so there it goes. Well, anyway, he was joking around with one of the players, right? And he was obviously joking. The player said he was joking. He said he was joking. And he said he called him one of the biggest crybabies or one of the biggest complainers in the league, because every time, no matter what the pitch is or where the pitch is, if he calls it a strike, it gets questioned. All right, here we go. I was trying to paraphrase everything instead of telling you guys. Okay, it was Adrian Beltre. West said he was asked who the biggest complainer in the major leagues is. He said every pitch you call as a strike, he says, whoa, whoa, whoa. I had a game with him recently that the pitch was right down the middle. He tells me that ball is outside. I told him, you're a great ball player, but you're the worst umpire in the league. You stink. Yeah, and he got suspended for that. That's the definition of sarcasm. Because it's obvious that Adrian Beltre is not an umpire. He says you're a great ball player, but you're a terrible you're the worst umpire. You stink. And they suspended this dude for that. Shout out to baseball. To the point where even Beltre is like, I don't think it was necessary to suspend him. Obviously, I know he was kidding. And after it happened a couple of weeks ago, he came back home and I asked him exactly what happened. And he told me he was just kidding with a reporter. Yeah, that sounds like something that's, is dead. Deshaun Watson's on the field too. Yeah, let me get this last story out the way and I'm going to go ahead and close up shop. I got to watch this, man. Let's see if this dude is as been advertised by his head coach. The last thing I got for you guys tonight is another Major League Baseball story. Quickly, they're going to be wearing alternate jerseys. And in baseball, this manufactured fun. We got to show you guys how fun this boring ass game is. I'll spice it up a little bit. I'll let the players put nicknames on their jerseys. And in addition to nicknames, they also get to put the name of somebody who was instrumental in the development as ball players. They get to put like a little patch on it. But like the big news is for Major League Baseball, as stiff and buttoned up as the game is, or like to pretend they are, they're going to put nicknames on the back of their jerseys August 25th through the 27th. This is right after the Colin Kaepernick protest. Some of the nicknames that you're going to see on the back of these jerseys are going to be on Aaron Judge's back. You'll see All Rise. That is nickname. Chris Sale's nickname is Stickman. Mike Trout is going to have Kid, Kiiiid, on the back of his. This is getting bad quickly. This is getting stupid. Kyle Seager's jersey is going to say Corey's brother. Giancarlo Stanton, his is going to say Cruz. I guess that's a nickname, I guess. Josh Donaldson, his is going to say Bringer of Rain. What in the hell? Man, baseball's so whack. Good God. Oh my. They did this in basketball, right? And, you got guys named Melo. You know what I'm saying? The King. KD. Bryce Harper, his name is going to be Big Kid. And Hunter Pence's name is going to be Wawa Indaji. Wawindaji. Baseball need more people, man. I don't believe you. This can't be a thing. Like this is the wackiest thing ever in sports, period. But it's baseball. This is why I don't talk about baseball, man. Because they do so many stupid things that don't make any sense to me, and then it brings me to this level of disgust. That's whack. And if anybody, and now they're gonna try to sell jerseys too with these names on them, and people are gonna buy them. That's the other word. Like white kids are gonna buy them. Speaking of white kids, last thing before I get out of here, did y'all see that big fat white boy playing the Little League World Series the other day? My God, he was humongous. Like, I don't believe in fat shaming. That whole thing is not even a thing. That's not even a real thing. You know what I mean? That kid was, I hope, it's fall time and he's still playing baseball. I hope there's a spot on somebody's football roster for him to be pulling and blocking and kicking out or something. Yeah, that kid is too golly. At some point, man, like you got to tell your kid no. You know what I'm saying? There's not enough cardiovascular involved in baseball for that kid. He needs to do more. He is probably the poster child, not Tommy John surgery, not any of these things. People say you shouldn't allow your kid to specialize at a young age. He is the poster child for that. He needs to play every sport. Soccer, football, basketball, anything. You need to run, man. That dude was humongous. And I don't mean humongous like that black kid that hit that big home run like in the woods. Not big like that. He's big, fat, like Dunlap belly, like big, like 50-year-old man belly hanging over the joint type, uncomfortably looking kid, man. And people feel like you can't say this stuff about kids. Like, but it's obvious. I don't care. Yeah, because it's true. You know what your kid looked like before you put him on TV at the Little League World Series. You knew. Anyway, it's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Got a couple of little housekeeping things to get out of the way real quick. Make sure you guys, if you're listening to this on demand or if you're still listening live, sign up for or come play fantasy football with me, man. Send me an email to Mike, my name, M-I-K-E, at the number one, MICWITHBIG, Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Send me an email with fantasy football in the subject line. I'll send you the link to the league. You can sign up with the password and all those good things, and we can get it popping that way. Or you can just go to my website, onemicwithbigmike.com, go to the contact page and send the email. Same instructions from there as well. If you missed any of the show, and please spread the word and tell a friend and tell a friend. You can catch it on demand on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, also on the Spreaker app. You can go to TuneIn, my website. It'll be there as well. iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. I'm going to get this Facebook Live situation straightened out, hopefully by Friday. For whatever reason, I had the camera was working and everything, but when I clicked it, it just told me I couldn't get in for whatever reason. So maybe I got to log out and log back in or whatever. Speaking of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is where our social media. You can follow me at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. That's gonna do it. Hump Day episode of the One Mic with Big Mike show is in the books. We're gonna come back, try to do it a little bit better on Friday. Got more preseason football, so again, probably be an abbreviated show on Friday as well. But we'll see. Something may happen. The world may end, but if it doesn't, we'll come back and we'll do a show on Friday. How about that? Once again, man, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. The One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm back, man. And remember, all you need is one mic.